INEC and this present government is planning even something bigger. 2023 election is not their target. They want to literally keep Nigeria in bondage. The same kind of thing that is happening in Cameroon, the same kind of thing that is happening in Togo, that is what these people want to do. They want to perpetuate themselves and make our government the same kind of thing that they have done with Benin Republic, with Togo, and with Cameroon. Nigerians, we will not let it happen. And how do we mean? The resident electoral commissioners are in charge of declaring winners in each state. As it were, they are like the INEC chairman of states. And the moment they declare election, it will take only the court to reverse it. And of course, you and I know how wonderful our court system is. You and I know how holy our Supreme Court today is. So these people have already rolled out their drums to not only rig the election coming next week, Saturday, in Imo State, but to rig the one of Bayelsa State and rig the one of Kogi State in their favor. So what is going to happen is that they will use this 3 off-cycle election to try again, more like to test run their model. And then whatever gaps they might see, they polish it up, ready for 2027, when they will come for a crushing. And let me repeat again, the model they want to replicate in Nigeria is the model of politics that is happening in Cameroon, in Togo, and in Benin Republic, where one family have been in power for more than 40 years. And this night, we are going to be discussing with us and exposing to us how they are planning it. Also, experts have been speaking. The supplementary budget, the trillions of naira supplementary budget, which they just approved for the remaining 2 months of the year. Remember, our budget runs from January to December. So whatever they are approving now is to be squandered between now and 31st December, because by January, a fresh budget will start running. And experts are saying that this current government that started just this May is even worse than the one we had for the last 8 years. So Nigerians, brace up yourself, sit up. I will allow Ifeoma to say to his opening statement, and then we start with some video clips we need to analyze, and then we merge the whole thing going through. Thank you.
Yeah, Doc, thank you very much. Hello, viewers. You are welcome to today's live show. Yes, we are here to talk about the INEC chairman and other issues that affect you and I as Nigerians. We saw the INEC chairman coming out to make promises to Nigerians again. And like you can see on the thumbnail, we said, believe him at your own risk, because it's difficult now to listen to the INEC chairman speaking and you want to take every word that comes out of his mouth. Is very difficult because we've seen him promise and fail. And he has not even come out to apologize to the Nigerian people. So you can see it was an intentional act for them to have given that promise that they broke. So this time, he has still come to Bayelsa State to promise them on how the election is going to be credible and all that. And people are saying, no, Mr. Man, we can no longer believe you. Gone are the days when you would just come out to tell Nigerians or make all kinds of promises and you want Nigerians to believe you. So there have been allegations of them trying to insert INEC APC members in some key positions in INEC. These are all plans that they are putting in place, to start rigging, even from these state elections that will be coming up. We know that governorship elections are going to start taking place in places like Kogi, Bayelsa, Imo, and all that. And before you know it, another presidential election will be coming up. So people are not really buying whatever INEC is saying today. So we are going to be diving deep into this to like unveil and expose some of the things that they are not getting right and other issues that has to do with the economy, because from the look of things, Nigeria is really struggling and our leaders, they don't care. They don't just care. So Doc, I will allow you to continue with the analysis.
Okay, the first approach is that there are, I think, 11 resident electoral commissioners that was appointed. Now, as I rightly said earlier on, resident electoral commissioners, as it were, they are like the INEC commissioners in states. They're like the governors. And so every election that holds in a state, presidential, governor, Senate, House of Rep, and House of Assemblies, it is the resident electoral commissioner that will declare it. They declare it, and the moment it is declared, it will take only the court to reverse it. And what they plan to do now is that all those states that the resident electoral commissioners have exhausted their tenure, they are now replacing them. You can see what we have here. I don't know if I can see the picture of this man. I wish what we have here. You can see they are replacing them with people who were card-carrying members of APC. They didn't hide it. The one they want to send for Akwa Ibom State, Etekamba Umoren. You can see him wearing the regalia of APC, campaigning for APC. He is a current Senate president's man. He has been his person, all right? And now they are sending him to go and become in charge of election in Akwa Ibom State, meaning any election that happens there, for senator, for governor, for House of Rep, the moment he announces the result, it's only the court that can stop it. And you and I know that the court is yours truly, the best place to go today. The same thing, the person they want to use to make the resident electoral commissioner in Rivers State is also a weakest person. That one is not hidden. So they are sending him to Rivers State. And what they want to do is to own those states. And they will now use it to be determining how they will perpetuate themselves in the presidency, in the Senate, in the House of Rep forever. Nigerians, we are not going to allow this happen. To be honest, INEC chairman, he's an intelligent person. I believe, and I've said it, that he had a good plan. But you see, like they say, everybody has the prize. The money they offered him, or whatever they offered him, must have been so good for him that he got compromised. And need I tell you something again? It's not even a matter of whether he has a plan, because our IREF, you can see, the Supreme Court has already destroyed the Electoral Act 2022. That's the strategy. They destroyed the integrity of Electoral Act 2022 by rendering IREF and beavers to be mere ceremony. That is a tactical plan they have executed. So at the court level, at the judicial level, at the regulatory level, they have destroyed the mechanism. Now, at the field level, they will plant their men. So whatever they declare, the court will become the clearinghouse that will clear them. And by so doing, we might say it can happen. Nigeria will just gradually degenerate to be a model of Cameroon, where the like of Paul Biya have been president almost going to 40 years now. The same thing in Togo, a family. The same thing in Benin Republic. Let us listen to the analysts, what they said with respect to this. Can we have that video clip from Channels? Credit to Channels Television, their morning show yesterday. Let's listen if it is possible. And need I tell us something again before the video comes on? Our president had been hobnobbing with France more than he's hobnobbing with Britain and America. And all the countries colonized by France, you know the kind of politics that is in that country. So it is easy for us to see that they want to model Nigerian democracy to the kind of democracy that is running in the African countries that were colonized by France. It's simple. And so whosoever that is in France giving that particular counsel to the likes of Paul Biya, to the likes of Nguema family and co in Africa, is already rendering the same kind of advice. Now, this is the man they want to make the resident, not just that they want to make, they have already confirmed him. Because the quote and unquote, an act of injustice, let me not say criminality, an act of injustice that happened here is that the names were submitted on Monday. Senate quickly cleared them on Tuesday without even sending them to the, let's listen to, show me the one of the wicked. This one is the one, is from, this is the person they are making the resident electoral commissioner in Akwa Ibom State. And this is the person they are going to make the resident electoral commissioner in Rivers State. Come on, Nigeria. How low can we go? That is the picture of the current governor of Rivers State and Wike together. He's wearing it, which means as far back as May, as far back as February, March this year, he's a card-carrying member of whatever party that Wike wants him to be. And they're going to make him now in charge of INEC. Now wait, now who ain't say become? Now Ingo become. Let's listen to channels. Let's listen to channels.
Doc, honestly, Nigeria is really in a mess. I don't know how we are going to come out from this trap, honestly. When you look at this man's face, he even looks like Wike. The way I'm looking at him, it appears it's his blood relative, if you look at him critically. Now, Wike is serving two parties, and if you really want to like say where he belongs to, I think he belongs to the APC, although he has not officially
he belongs
said so. Yes, he belongs to the APC because he's there to support the sitting president. So this is man now, he's going to be the one that will be in charge of INEC in Rivers State, Nigerians. You can see it for yourself. And then this person that is wearing the uniform of the APC, you can see the logo on his body, on the clothes he's wearing. Is going to be that of Akwa Ibom State. These are the people that this government, they are not even trying to make Nigeria work. You can imagine these people are already planning against the forthcoming elections, meaning even if it is going to involve violence or whatever, it does not matter. We saw a video of the deputy governorship candidate for Bayelsa. He was inciting the people. I don't know if you saw that video. It was like, just like grab it, take it by force. If it means to destroy. You know, he was just inciting the people. And up to today, nobody has gone to arrest him. Nobody's even talking about it because he belongs to the ruling party. So you can see how low Nigeria has really descended. Let me just play the video so that we take it up from there.
Falling. Well, what do you make of this then? Another opportunity for the president to write his name in gold with all the issues he's struggling with. This would have been a very good opportunity for him to put out names that he will not have to struggle with. And unfortunately, we have names that are very undemocratic, individuals with questionable character, and people that we know will not serve the required expectation of every and any Democrat. And it's not too late for them to be withdrawn. The case against them are very obvious, and we have taken time, thanks to my very good friend here, Yaga Samson. We did a thorough investigation. Of course, being a lawyer, you know that he's thorough. We did a thorough investigation of these individuals, and they should not be appointed. They shouldn't have.
So I think this video is not playing smoothly.
No, it's
I don't know if
going
you can
well.
just summarize.
Going well from my end.
Been nominated in the first place, and this is an opportunity for us to rebuild the confidence, the battered confidence of the past election, you know, and I don't think this type of thing should come up now, you know, and so it's a simple, clear call to the president to withdraw these individuals. They have become the dark sheep amongst those who are appointed.
Well, Samson, what do you know about this?
Well, there's nothing that I know that Nigerians don't know. There are three things that we know. The first is, this is not the first time this is happening. It happened under President Harry, where he flooded the Electoral Commission with persons who had partisan inclination and persons who had questionable character. And he violated the Constitution, and he got away with it. It's repeating itself in the same fashion, but in fact, this time it's even worse. And so what we know to be different is the fact that you had a Senate who, day before yesterday, read the communication from the president, read these names, and rather than commit or refer the matter to the Senate Committee on INEC, because the committees are the engine room of legislative work. This is where due diligence is performed, especially for an institution like INEC. These are not ministerial appointees where you confirm them on the floor. The matter should have been referred. The Senate President refused, to refer the matter to the Senate Committee. And they went ahead to confirm these people. There were petitions that were submitted, against these people, especially the two nominees that we have raised flags, that Nigerians have raised flags, that the entire public space is flooded with images and videos of these individuals. And this is not too far from today. It was just 2019. Less than 5 or 6 years down the line. These are individuals who are really out there in public who have professed their political preference and alignment. And they went ahead and confirmed these people. And what it just simply tells us is that we've got a democracy without Democrats.
Can I come in?
Democracy with individuals who do not care about people and do not care about our institutions.
Okay. From what we can see, because the whole length of this channel's program, as I said, credit to channel's Sunrise program, is the fact that the umoren of a man, we're just using 2 of them, there are 11 of them. But this umoren of a man who, remember that in 2022, yes, last year, in the build-up to the election, there was a petition by civil society like Yaga Africa and Co. when President Buhari flagrantly abused the constitution and appointed an APC member to become the resident electoral commissioner in Imo State. That person is Hope Uzodinma's candidate. As we talk today, she's still the resident electoral commissioner for Imo State. And you have seen how the election in Imo State went. And she is the person who is going to also supervise this election that will be holding next week in Imo State. This man, Umoren, the one that is wearing the uniform of APC, can I see the one going for Akwa Ibom? Can I see that picture again, please, if you don't mind? That man was Akpabio's chief of staff from 2015 to 2019. It's not hidden. So from every indication, Akpabio has now appointed who he wants to be the resident electoral commissioner in his state, so that the man will now declare who Akpabio wants to be the next governor, the next senator, the next House of Rep member, the next House of Assembly members. Just in the same way that Hope Uzodinma is determining the one that will happen in Imo State. And this other wicked boy is now being sent to River State to determine who will be the next governor. Let me tell you, don't be surprised that the kangaroo impeachment will still happen in River State. Because why do I say so? A governor was being shot at by the police. Until today, nothing has happened. He is supposed to be the chief security officer of the state. The police in the state is answerable to the commissioner of police. The commissioner of police is answerable to the inspector general of police. The inspector general of police is answerable to the president. And in this chain of command, a sitting governor was tear-gassed by the police and nothing happened. What does that tell you? Abuja is interested. It is not just Wike. Aso Rock is interested in who becomes the governor in River State. And peradventure they do not succeed in removing him, they are already sending him the INEC state chairman, let me use that word, who will determine who will be the next senator, the next governor, the next House of Rep member. Are you seeing the long-term plan of crushing Nigeria's political expedition by a few handful of people? And now, did you hear what this analyst said? He said that this is a violation of the Constitution. Because in the Constitution, it says anybody who is going to be appointed as a rec must not be someone of questionable character, one. And secondly, he must also not be someone who has allegiance to a political party. But it is obvious here that the Constitution is violated. And according to what the Todo guy said, ordinarily, when a name is sent to the Senate for appointment, the committee of the Senate that handles such, assuming it is maybe for somebody who will be the chief of army staff, the Senate committee on the army or on defense will go and vet him, scrutinize him, have like 4 days of questioning him. If there's anybody who have any case, they bring out the petition, they trash everything, and when they conclude, the committee now officially recommend the person to the floor for voting. But if the committee finds the person wanting, the committee will write the House and say, we've done our due diligence, this person is not qualified. But because Akpabio has interest in it, they submitted the name on Tuesday. All right? The next day, they cleared them. It didn't even go to the committee at all. They cleared them for president to appoint. And the moment the president appoints them, he can only take the president to revoke it. Even the court cannot stop it. Because, oh goodness me. And someone is asking, where are the opposition? Opposition, in the first place, really, I am so angry with the opposition, whether it is the PDP or the Labour Party. In fact, I am more furious with the so-called Labour Party opposition because all of them seems though they are just interested in their 160 million naira Land Cruiser. I wouldn't talk about PDP. You know why I wouldn't talk about PDP? Because PDP and APC, they are just two fingers of the same leprous arm. They're just a twin. Let me prove it to you. The chairman of PDP's governors forum went to Aso Rock to thank President Tinubu, who is an APC president, for helping them to reconcile Wike and Governor Fubara, who claimed to be PDP people. Wike said in his press briefing that what is happening in Rivers State is PDP family affair. And the Bauchi State Governor, who is the chairman of PDP Governors Forum, went to thank APC for coming to reconcile the family affair of PDP. My fellow Nigerians, what is different between the political parties? They are the same. They are simply the same. So I am angry with all the so-called senators that sat there. I know that their vote won't count because they say the minority will have the say, but the majority will have their way. That's understandable. But what is their say? What did they say? We want to hear their say. Did they lament? Did they walk out of the plenary? Did they say I'm withholding my vote? If they didn't, they sold out. They are just like any other politicians. Unfortunately, I have said it, I am never for Labour Party or APC or PDP. I am interested in the integrity of the persons who are vying. When I supported Peter Obi, I did not support him because he's in Labour Party. Remember that song we used to sing? Carry me, they go. Peter Obi, carry me, they go for better Niger. The guy that sang that song says, it does not matter which party you go, wherever you go, we'll follow you. It is Peter Obi we are following, not Labour. We were waiting for Peter Obi to go to any party. If it is SDP, we follow him. ANC, we follow him. PPP, we follow him. So I don't care about all these other politicians who rode on the back of Peter Obi to become senators. They will be exposed when they will be exposed anyways. So that is it. I can't even read what you have here. Okay, yes, it's the same thing. It's the same thing we've read. Same thing we've said. So you can see, I don't know if we want to, maybe for another 4 minutes, listen to further analysis on really what happened based on this, on that channel's this thing, if possible. If not, we can move on to another subject.
I think it's heartbreaking that if you see what happened in the Senate yesterday, you just see how these guys are killing our institutions. How can you explain to a Nigerian that this person was confirmed by a democratic institution to serve as an umpire? And we've been screaming and shouting and advocating and telling our politicians that there is grave danger when INEC is populated by politicians. How do you expect them to pretend over elections and expect people to turn up to vote? Because for them, the outcome is already skewed. The second is it appears there is actually a grand conspiracy by the political class. And the big question is, where are the opposition parties in this entire conversation? Why must it be civil society organizations and the media who constantly put these issues on the front burner? If you check the distribution of political parties in the Senate, the APC has majority, but you have over 30 PDP lawmakers. You also have Labour Party lawmakers. The big question is, why didn't they oppose either this breach of procedure or this appointment of partisan individuals? Because the whole concept of confirmation is a derivative of the principle of separation of power. That in a constitutional democracy, yes, the executive, the president has the power. He's made this appointment, but the protective mechanism within the legislature that should check, the excesses of the executive is now weakened. And you have opposition party members. Did they speak up? Did they oppose this move, either the procedure that was adopted by the Senate or the nomination of this individual? To the best of my knowledge, I have not seen any letter from the opposition or political parties. I have not seen any petition. And so every time people say, oh, what is civil society doing? Everybody is abdicating their responsibility for civil society. And it just tells you that perhaps the reason why they are quiet is maybe it's a consensus on the part of the political class that one way to secure electoral victory is to capture the electoral management body. Perhaps they, if given the opportunity, they probably will do same. And that's why they are not speaking. And it's troubling because we are damaging our institutions. And more importantly, is the Constitution. This is a gross violation of the Constitution. We can't have people who are creation of the Constitution desecrate the Constitution. The Constitution is clear that individuals who have partisan inclinations, who are members of political parties, should not be appointed into INEC. It's there in the letters of our Constitution. If you adopt whether literal, whether textual, whatever canon of interpretation you adopt, it is clear to the blind man that people who have partisan leanings, and these two individuals that have been flagged, I don't know why they still insisted on confirming these people. And it's just sad and a very dark day for our electoral democracy.
Okay, I'm glad for the way he ended. He said, very dark day for our electoral democracy. Now, do you know that they conduct election in Cameroon? They conduct election in Togo. They conduct election in Benin Republic. And only one family keeps winning, which was the last one that they just removed the president. Remind me, this last one, they removed the president just last 2 months. Where the Gabon, was it Gabon? Yes. And they conduct election in Gabon. But how come only one family has been winning election? One family, one man. And when he's dying, his son starts winning for over 40 years. It's because first and foremost, they crushed the institutions. And they do it with a reckless abandon. Please find me that video we wanted to play yesterday of the judiciary, Chidi Odinkalu. We need it now. They crush the institutions. They grab the judiciary and rupture their morality, rupture their mindset, threaten those they will have to threaten, and then they get the law enforcement agents, unleash them on the people. And you think they will have conscience? No conscience. For the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, if you give them the freedom, they will continue like that. They will just continue like that. And that is the plan APC have for Nigeria. That's what they're trying to do. Because what they're trying to do now is any state where the resident electoral commissioner exhausts their district, they just send an APC member there. You go. And remember that when they go there, it will take them 5 years to execute their tenure. And as they're executing their tenure in 5 years, they will replace them. And now that they have ruptured the morality and the integrity of the judiciary, and they have the executive that does the appointment, and the legislator that will not care whether Nigerians are complaining or not, the field is clear for them. And if you make noise, DSS will come for you. That is it. This is worse than military government. Because you know why military government is better? When military government are in power, even the international community can frighten them. But as long as they wear the semblance of election and democracy, international community don't care. That is why Gabon has been the way it is. That's why Togo is the way it is. That's why Benin Republic is the way it is. That's why Cameroon is the way it is. And it is very, very, very disheartening, unfortunately. All right, we move on to the next slide. Can we, if we can't get that video clip of the judiciary, no problem. Let us go now and see what the analysts are still saying with respect to both the budget of 2-point-something trillion that they want to balloon in 2 months. In 2 months. So let's get to that channel's video now, if you have it. Credit to Channels Television.
School and to be affordable for them. This is what you actually.
Billion naira for the presidential yacht has been transferred to student loans, bringing its total budget to 10 billion naira, eliciting more reactions.
As far as we are concerned, we don't have that percentage anymore. We have increased the student loan. If you can recall, student loan was 5 billion naira in the budget, but now we have increased it from 5 to 10 billion so that our students can be able to access that facility in order for them to go to school and to be affordable for them. This is what we do actually.
So no more what?
Yeah, we don't have that yet anymore.
All right. Well, I guess what would I say? Kudos at this point. But, you know, Nigerians are going to react. This is from Brother Bath, who wrote, yacht budget to education budget, selling the dog and buying monkey. 1. It is now reported that the House of Rep has moved Tinubu's proposed 5 billion naira for procurement of yacht to education loan budget. 2. Each budget item must have been worked out with clear criteria. 3. One wonders the criteria for adding the budget for Tinubu's yacht to education loan, that the House of Reps just moved the money and left it for those in charge of education loan to work out how the new addition will be expended. Isn't this an opportunity for misappropriation? 4. If the House of Representatives was against the Tinubu yacht budget, just like Nigerians have widely expressed, why didn't they approve the budget with less than the 5 billion naira? Must the bottom line figure be retained? After all, this is a supplementary budget. 5. The decision is more like selling the dog and buying a monkey. Another Twitter user there, Akin, goes, why student loan? Was the budget a yacht loan? They should make it a grant that students don't have to pay back the 5 billion naira for the most indigent students as grants, financial aid, and the remaining 5 billion naira for less indigent ones as loan. Finally, this Twitter user goes, the more you look, the less you see. The budgetary magic. 5 billion naira budgeted for presidential yacht was moved to student loan, while the Ministry of Defense budget was increased from its initial 476 billion naira to 546 billion naira. That's a 70 billion naira difference. How many presidential yachts will 70 billion naira buy? It is called robbing Peter to pay Paul. But this regime even went as far as paying Silas and Saul. Ayo, of course, you know, these are very, very pertinent questions Nigerians are asking. You know, especially that 70 billion naira difference. I mean, what's that all about at this point? There needs to be more explanation on that. But also, you know, Bayo Onanuga's tweet just falls flat at this point. He said it was an operational naval vessel. Which also got a lot of people reacting at this point, because, I mean, if it was really for the Navy, why do they have to scrap it? I mean, we need defense, don't we?
We do. There are so many, what's it called, arguments or debates around this naval base. I'd earlier said that in other countries like the US and the UK, these vessels, the yachts, presidential yachts, the US was called the floating White House. Yes, it came under Navy budget, but it wasn't used for combat or used in the area of defense. It was usually ceremonial. So the justification by Mr. Bayo Onanuga is quite curious. Also, put that side by side by the justification by Senator Ali Ndume. In his own argument, he says it's because he had already been paid for. It had been agreed. So there's a contractual agreement that the vessel is ready to be delivered. It's just for us to pay. So we're actually bound.
Said it. He said that it was ordered
the previous administration. So we're actually bound. So all these things we're saying, the thing is ready. They just need to deliver it to Nigeria, and we have to pay. We cannot renege on a contract that's already been agreed on and signed by the previous administration. That's where we find ourselves here. Unfortunately, some of the same set of members in the National Assembly today were in the previous assembly, were the ones who also approved that amount of money to be paid to buy a presidential vessel. But going on to what he said about the 5 billion, I asked the question earlier that how did they arrive at the need for an extra 5 billion naira to go to the student loan? Usually there's a set of criteria. We've talked about the fact that the process for this student loan has been shrouded in secrecy. We only know that there's a student loan that is meant to come into effect in January of 2023. Some other provisions of the Act, Tertiary Education Act, has not been fulfilled. So how will that happen? What is the extra 5 billion naira there for, and how did they arrive at that exact figure to be included in the student loan? Are we just putting money all around, moving it around? Okay, you put it there. Is there a need for that? Then comes to the defense budget, the same questions we ask. You know, when we asked Senator Ndume as to why it seems like it's a rubber stamp assembly, he said, because they had to pass it quickly. They had only 7 more weeks for the president to spend this money. What is urgent about the vessel, the presidential fleet? What is urgent about defense? Adding 70 billion naira, you have about over 400 billion naira added to that. When most of these, in fact, all of it is going to be from borrowing. And we talked about the fact that borrowing in itself is not bad. Economies around the world, nations around the world borrow. It is what the money is going to be used for. Unfortunately, this is not justifiable, at least in terms of the details of what the reason. And I do feel that this National Assembly is not doing its due, is not carrying out its functions in terms of truly checking the powers of the executive.
There needs to be a clear criteria.
Good. Can we pause it here? Kudos to Arise News. I mean, like I said yesterday, if they maintain it this way, I can bet you that the voice of these two ladies in political matters in Nigeria will drown that of Reuben Abati, who is looking for appointment. Yes, I'll keep calling him out. And of course, we know that Rufai has always stood out to bear his mind. But now, let's do it. Let's walk it from the last thing they said to the first thing. Ndume used his mouth to tell them that they quickly passed this budget, meaning we didn't have to do due diligence because we need to balloon this money in 7 weeks. Did you notice that? Ndume said they have to quickly do it because this money that needs to be spent within 7 weeks. They need these boats within 7 weeks. Pleasure. They must test it. They must enjoy it within 7 weeks. That's number one. Number two is that, as you can see, according to Ndume, this is due to depreciation in Naira. This 5 billion is actually amounts to pay because of the variation that happened. Because I read in the news somewhere that this yacht is actually about 200 and something billion naira. Are you getting what I'm saying? I'm going to find that news. And based on what Ndume said, is a confirmation that this 5 billion that is remaining is just because of the weakness of Naira. Because they are paying in dollars. There is no, even the small yacht that people used to rent and do some cruise around European countries. None is going to be bought for 5 billion naira. That's too cheap for it, if to be honest. So these are just more like variation in payments that they want to complete with 5 billion. So about 200 and something. I'm going to find that news somewhere. The exact amount of this particular yacht that they are talking about. And then thirdly, this defense budget from 476 to 546. I am not talking about the change. Who will manage it? The person who will manage it is the man we talked about yesterday, former governor of Zamfara State. He is the person they are going to give this money, especially this extra 70 billion. Defense budget. Oh, God help Nigeria. We used to say that some people entered one chance bus. This one is, I don't know how to describe something worse than one chance. Because this man who just left as the governor of Zamfara State, whom a current commissioner washed yesterday, is now telling us this is the budget that they're handing over to him, 546 billion naira to manage, out of which extra 70 billion will be chopped like you're using clipper to cut hair in 7 weeks. They gave him 70 billion to balloon in seven weeks, which means 10 billion every week. And our girls are still in captivity. Nigerians are still being kidnapped from schools. And we were told yesterday by a current commissioner in the States that this man, they are handing over the security, the defense of our country, bought luxurious vehicles and gave to bandits. What is in the mind of these people? How can we explain it? And then yesterday we talked about the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs that can't explain to us how they are ballooning money. And look at Canada. It's pledging to give, to pump in $18 million, Canadian dollars. Is it US dollars or Canadian dollars? Into the purse so that they can be buying a bag of Gary for 5,000 naira and be quoting that they bought it for 50,000 naira. So we are now a beggar country that they are contributing for us. And as they contribute, it goes into the pocket of one or two persons. It's a shame. It is indeed a shame. And meanwhile, this supplementary budget they are bringing is still by borrowing. Because by the time they finish this supplementary budget, our budget for this year will get to as high as, is it 14 trillion? Whereas the expected income for this year is within 9 to 10 trillion. So we already have deficits. Look, this.
Yes, so there's this man that was being that was interviewed on Arise Television. He was talking about the plans to borrow money from World Bank. I think World Bank has already approved that loan. They are just trying to kind of conclude on it. But he was still saying that there will still be a lot of deficit, meaning that even if they get that loan, it won't be enough to take care of this budget.
No, but you use your mouth to say loan, meaning that even if they bring it, our debt increases.
It increases.
Currently, we are owing more than 170 trillion in debt. And they want to add to it. You know, they add to it, the common man suffers, but they themselves,
Yes.
their fortunes increases. Their
Yes.
fortune increases, and the common man is suffering. You see how it goes?
And you know, we use 90-something% of our revenue to service debt.
To service
So
debt.
it appears after servicing our debt, we are left with almost nothing. Almost nothing.
I tell you something. Part of the money they want to borrow from the World Bank, they want to use it to settle our FX demand. As I said, is it not like somebody borrowing money to pay rent without having a source of income? If you borrow 5 months rent to pay your landlord, on the 6th month, will landlord not knock on your door again? By that time, you'll be owing 2 creditors. You're owing the person you borrowed to pay 5 months, and you're owing your landlord still. And when Peter Obi was,
and you know, that was what happened during the Buhari's regime.
Of course,
MFLA was just like pumping money to cushion the effect, you know.
It gave, yeah.
And before you know it, we are back to square one.
Of course. And now look at it. They use our foreign reserve to secure the loans they were collecting during Buhari's era. As they were collecting loans from companies, from countries and co, they used our foreign reserve to secure it. And now they expect Naira to be strong. They will carry as much as 70 billion Naira, convert it to go and buy cars and give it to the economy of Japan. And do you know what Ndube said when they asked him why they are not buying made in Nigerian car? They said that the reason why they are not buying made in Nigerian car is because they don't manufacture it in Nigeria, that they only assemble it in Nigeria. So we are now animals that will be driving in the made in Nigerian car, while they who are human beings will be in Prado bought in Japan. Can you imagine how this? And did you even see the other senator that we featured yesterday? If you look at him, no empathy. He doesn't even care. He talks with reckless abandon. More like, hey, hello guys, what are you talking? You like it or you don't like it? This is what we want, and we're going to get it. Come on. I told myself that when I come on to a show like this, I won't be getting angry, but it's like as I stay, I get really, really, really offended by these people. They don't even care about these 200 million. These people who are doing this to us, they are not even up to 10% of the population of Nigeria. They're not even up to 10%. So, okay, if they assemble it in Nigeria, what is wrong in buying a car that is assembled in Nigeria? What is wrong? What is wrong in do you know that BMW, Volkswagen, they only assemble it now in Germany? All the parts are produced in China, because China is the factory of the world now. And then they ship it back to assemble in Germany. And Nigerians go there to buy it. So what is wrong in assembling car? Did you see the mindset of our leaders? They don't trust in our own product. And they want our economy to improve. Oh, it's a shame. And do you even know, I have been monitoring something. The Prime Minister of Britain, the car, the Jaguar, the official Jaguar car he rides in, Cameron used it and handed over to Theresa May. And Theresa May handed over to Boris Johnson. The same car. The same car. If you look at the plate numbers of the car that is in the entourage, which is usually not more than 4, because you can determine the year the car is produced in a place like UK by the plate number. Some of them 2011, 2014. These cars are about 6 years, 5 years, 7 years, and they are still driving it. And the head of the government is still driving it. I think I am done.
You know, when they were asked, when one of them was asked, what happened to the cars that they used last year? He said the members are meant to buy it because the value of the car reduces with time. So at the end of your tenure, they will like offer it to you at a certain rate, at a reduced price. So you can pay the money and then go away with the car. So you can imagine those of them. And this same man, some of them have been there for years. Like Mr. Ndume said, he came to the National Assembly, I think House of Rep, in 2003. So you can imagine how long he has been there.
That's not
2003.
That's not even
sorry.
That's not even the question I need to ask is fine, no problem. Can they show us their balance sheet and say this is the amount of revenue we have gotten from the members who bought their car? How much was that? How much was that valued car? What percentage did they discount? And how much did they pay? And which account did they pay it? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? If the car was bought for 12 million 4 years ago, and they are now buying it for 4 million, where is the 4 million? Who did they pay it to?
So, Doc, assuming they even paid, does it mean that those of them that have been there for this long, how many cars have they been going home with? Where do they park the cars? Where do they keep it? Or is it that when they get home, they equally dash it out or they resell it? You see, these people are just using Nigeria. Some people call them transactional leaders. Look at Nigeria. Over 26 million Nigerians at risk of food. You need to see, there was this video that was trending on Twitter where in the north, people were picking rice together with sand. As in packing it, I don't know what happened. It's like this palliative that is being shared. Possibly they got there and some of the bags got torn. So everything was like littered on the ground. They were busy. Come and see struggle. People were struggling, picking up sand together with rice. I was just imagining, how are they even going to start cooking this thing they are picking from the ground? Nigerians are suffering. You need to go to the north and see Kwashoko, as if we are still during the period of the Biafran War. You need to see people, children, being malnourished in the core north. And these people, they've been there in the National Assembly. They don't even shake body. We have more northern senators. We have more northern House of Rep members. But I don't even know if they care. They don't. So Nigerians, we are really in a very serious mess. And you can see the strategy they are already taking. This current president is working in hand with the Senate president. They want to like position all their people. They are already being strategic, you know, for the upcoming elections, even that of 2027, the presidential election. They are already pressing their calculator, positioning their men, because that's just what they are doing at the moment. They want to keep grabbing power, even when they lack clues, even when they lack ideas on how to save Nigeria, at least from this current mess that we are in. Doc, please, your closing thought, because I don't know when this Nigeria is going to be liberated, honestly. This is just leadership problem. It's not as if God didn't bless us. We have everything. Look at Canada giving us money. Every time we go to beg loan, give us loan. This government promises us that they are not going to borrow, that they are going to make sure they manage whatever they meet on ground. Now, they've not even spent any time. You need to listen to one economist. I don't know if I should bring in that video. He was
it.
mentioning how much this government has already borrowed.
Bring
You'll
it.
be wondering, was it in the night? Was it in the middle of the night? Did they go out like Nicodemus to go and get this? Nigeria, the man was just lamenting about how this government is not even being transparent. That's even them, the economists, it's difficult for them to, like, postulate. They can't really come out with some figures. They can't analyze anything because they are just like living in the dark. They don't have figures. They only come to tell you they spend this, they spend. They are not telling them how the revenue is being generated, what and what they got, so that people will not start matching the figures, So honestly, what is happening in Nigeria is unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. And we all must put our hands together, put our heads together to ensure that these old politicians are retired. We must retire them because this country cannot continue like this. This is where INEC brought us to. And we're thinking that the judiciary was the only savior that we had. The judiciary even worsened the situation. So we don't even know if we should be blaming the politicians or we should be blaming INEC, or is it the Baba of all Babas, the judiciary? We don't even know who to blame. You know?
I'll end on this note. Don't have no problem with politicians, no problem with INEC. You know why? Because if someone can steal my valuables and run to the police and hide it in the police, the same police that I should be going to complain to, and hide it, I won't be angry with that person again. Police will no longer be my friend. I will see police as my... The judiciary, I have said it here, is the problem of Nigeria. They are the longest existing institution. They are the most corrupt. It is entrenched, and their corruption has kept Nigeria where we are today. If the judiciary decide to change tomorrow, you will see all these politicians sit up. But as long as they have promised them that they will give them easy passage, even if you are the politicians like them, you will do what you do with reckless abandon because you know that they will do what? Give you easy passage. We'll end like that. Good night.
Yes, Doc. This image I have here is the NLC chairman. People have been saying that the governor of Imo State should be blamed for what happened to him. So you can see that people are really like desperate to remain in power. Even the police commissioner also in Imo State has been accused of being partisan. He has come out to say, no, he's not partisan and all that, because the state government held a kind of retreat for them. So people were like, is this not a way to compromise? Just few days now, election will be holding in that state. And this government is coming to hold a retreat for them. So we have a system that is...
You know what I think? Tomorrow, we have a dossier on the strategy to destroy Imo State. The plan from the police, from the presidency, and from Hope Uzodinma. We can't just walk away from this NLC president, this thing. Let's devote some substantial time tomorrow to educate Nigerians with what is happening, because that will be 1 week to the election. Good night, all.
Yes.
Thanks. Right.
They've even planned to go on a strike. I think that might start tomorrow. I don't really know the exact date. So yes, Nigerians, this is where we are. Doc, let's quickly take some of these comments and we call it.
My dear, they don't even care. You see, when you ask this question, how do they go to bed and sleep knowing that citizens are suffering? I ask you, how do those other people who have been in power for 40 years plus, in Cameroon, in Togo, in Benin Republic, in a place like Gabon, how have they been sleeping for 40 years? How have they been sleeping for 40 years? And as I said, Our politicians who are currently in power, remember that their own mecca has been France. Right from last year till this year, whenever they travel to France. So they have gone to France to learn how to do African politics in the same way France taught because all those presidents in African francophone countries where they have been one family has been in power for 40 years plus. France is cool with those people.
Yeah.
They have gone to learn from France because it's like Britain is not teaching them that kind of politics and America is not teaching them that kind of politics. So they don't have that heart. You're talking because you have heart. INEC have been emboldened by their success of 2023. It is no surprise they are planning to repeat it again. Yes, they are planning to repeat it again in 2027, and their trial, the dry run they want to do will be starting from Imo State, election next week, and that of Bayelsa and that of Kogi State. The constitution should be amended to introduce greater Who will amend it? Is it Akpabio that will author it?
Honestly.
President, are you seeing how they
are planning? These people they are so strategic.
Akpabio.
I just pray that Nigerians will still come out en masse because the power belongs to the people. We cannot just say yes because they are in the position. At least this 2023 presidential election was a lesson to them. It's still a lesson to them. They must have learned that power belongs to the people. If not for the judiciary that refused to stand with the Nigerian people, there is no way this president would have been upheld as the president of Nigeria.
But that's also what I said, that the judiciary too deliberately denied Peter Obi his mandate because they know that if he had become president, he will come and rupture their system. He will scatter their crime, corrupt, reading model. Because all those recommendations that have been produced for the reforming of judiciary, which they have refused to touch, when Peter Obi comes, he will tell the Minister of Justice, listen, if this thing is not done, I'm retiring all the justices and I'm appointing a new set of people. So when they see that, look, if we allow justice to prevail, if we allow justice to prevail, it will affect us, because our own Egunje will stop flowing.
It's true.
Yes, only Peter Obi has a plan for Nigeria, of course, and that's why they all ganged up. They all ganged up to make sure he didn't come. He will ruffle their feathers for the sake of Nigeria. Nigerians would have benefited and they would have lost in this whole scheme. Now they have chosen to retain their turf at the expense of Nigerians. Yes, so there is still Almighty in heaven. And indeed, if we cry well, he will hear our prayer. Yes, is it not what they told us? They said he's going to come and replicate over Nigeria what he did in Lagos. Are we surprised? We're not surprised. Yes. They always say, look at Lagos, is the model. This is what's the wickedness. When the wicked witches are in authority, people cry a lot. Well, so the scripture says. Yes, INEC has never been independent. I agree with you. And Justice Uwaisi's report was meant to stop INEC from becoming a tool of the executive. And that Justice Uwaisi's report, till date, they refused to implement it. Goodluck Jonathan was working on it until they removed him. I've said it here, as long as PDP is not an opposition. PDP is just the younger brother of the man who is driving the car. There's no position at all. Okay, let's go. Thanks. Good night, all. We see you tomorrow.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you very much. Our viewers, thank you for staying with us till now. We appreciate your presence. Please do well to like the video so that YouTube can recommend it to more people. And also subscribe to our channel. Give us that support. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for future updates. When you click the notification bell, it gives you option. Choose the all. That's the first option, so that you'll be able to see all our updates. And you can also give us a cup of coffee by buying us a super chat or a super sticker. The icon is down beneath the comment section. So with this, we want to say a very big thank you for being a part of today's live show. Let's meet again tomorrow, same time. Good night.
Good
So
night.
thank you for all your contributions.
You too. Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.